Welcome to the Stay Ready Real Estate Podcast, where we stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I'm your host, Emeka, and in each episode, I'll be breaking down real estate topics to help you find and lock in your first deal. This podcast is all about building wealth through real estate, and the best part, you don't need a lot of money to get started. So let's jump right into it. What's going on, Stay Ready family? Today, what we're going to talk about is the art of partnering with people. Right? Partnering with people, I've said on this podcast before, is one of the biggest keys to going far fast, right? It is okay, because a lot of people want this, but it is okay to want to do all the deals yourself, but then all with your own money, have 100% equity, and I get that. I want that as well, but you cannot completely just cross out not partnering with people. And the reason why is because you can do 2 deals with less money and have more equity, make more profit due to the fact that you have someone else's money with yours combined, right? There's only one you, and with 2 people you can do more. And then also the web of networking, right? Because if you partner with that deal, do a good deal, and they like that, they like what you do, they like what you're about, they like who you are, then they're going to tell their friends, and their friends of friends, and their friends are going to tell their friends. And eventually you're going to just naturally build this network of people where once you have a deal, they're all going to want to invest with you, right? So the thing that you need to do is always, always, always make sure you put the money where your mouth is, right? You can get into deals with no and low money down, right? I've gotten into deals, multifamily deals, with zero cash essentially. And, it's worked out. But it will never, never, never look as good as you actually putting your own money in. Because the thought process is, if I'm going to give you money in your deal that you believe in, why wouldn't you put your own money if you truly believe in that deal? If you believe that this deal is going to be amazing, if you believe that this deal is going to make you money, why wouldn't you put your own money in? That's the whole argument, and it's the most valid argument, and you can't really, there's no rebuttal to that, right? The most common answer is you just don't have the cash. Like, I didn't have as much cash as I thought I did. I moved to Florida, I got into this, the 10 unit and the 16 unit, and I got an acquisition fee, and I just rolled that money into the deal. So that was the point that I made. The point I made was, I don't have cash, but the cash that I will make with the fee is going to go back into the deal. Right? And then the other question is, why don't I have cash, right? I was, early 20s. I just moved, used a lot of money, didn't have much. I took a ginormous pay cut just to get to Florida. And that was my reason. It's a very valid reason. I was very young, because there's not many people my age doing this. But the point I'm making is, you have to have a reason for not having money. It needs to make sense. And the reason why is because, how are you going to raise money if people don't think you can manage funds? You're going to be doing these, $250,000 deals, or even $1 million deals, which we've done before. You're going to need to build trust with people. And if they feel like you can't manage your own personal funds, then that is a red flag. Just hang it up. Don't try to raise money from other people if you can't even handle your own money. That's a big thing. But another thing I want to talk about is, yes, I've mentioned that having partners is a very big key in order to scaling faster, growing faster, going further, faster, longer. However, structuring those deals is one of the most important things, right? That's what I love. That's what I'm here to talk about. And you don't always need lawyers, even though lawyers are very ideal, depending on how big the deal is. But there's so many different resources. You can use AI, you can use Claude, ChatGPT, Grok. You can tell it to make it seem as sophisticated as possible, make it legally binding, but just make sure the information that you're inputting into the AI is something that is very useful. And always get a second opinion, and make sure you're chatting with the percentages and everything with the partner, of course. But I say that as structuring a deal is so important, because if you don't have as much money, why should someone invest in you, right? You need to understand how to underwrite, all that good jazz, which I've mentioned in other podcasts. But if you're not going to have any money, why would you get a bigger percentage? So you need to understand the value that you provide for the partner and why they should get in. And that is going to be a key thing, right? I used to do deals 50-50, and I still do that occasionally with flips, because if I'm the brains of the operation, then, like, it doesn't happen without me, and it's not successful without me. I have to provide proof of concept that I actually do it. But once I got into these deals, and it's been not even all the ones in Florida, but in Kansas, also in Missouri, it is a lot of work. It's very time consuming. In my previous podcast, I mentioned that real estate is not passive. You can make it passive for a partner, but if you're doing this deal, it is not passive. I have a W-2 job that I'm not going to jeopardize. So basically all my free time I'm using in real estate trying to be a husband. So understanding what's worth it for you is huge. But not only what's worth it for you, how are you going to make it worth it for your partner? Period. So structuring a deal where it makes sense for them is huge. And that also means understanding the kind of return that they need to make. What is the return that you need to give for somebody else for it to make sense for them to take a lower percentage? Because yes, the deal won't happen without you. There wouldn't be a deal if you didn't present it. But also, more times than not, a deal is not going to happen unless you have that cash, right? But the cash is one of the easiest parts of a deal, right? Because there's money everywhere. You just got to find it. Even if you don't have it, there's money to be had. And, some people can just have money sitting in their bank account doing nothing. So real estate's passive for those people who are just giving money, and the sweat equity that you put in, the time, the energy, the coordinating with contractors, the banks, the title companies, the different trades, right? It's a lot of work. So you need to put a price tag on that work and express that very vividly. I am in the middle of doing, trying to convert something to a pad split, and it was originally 50-50, and it's great. But looking at the amount of work done, the amount of funds that are put in, we have to come to some kind of agreement of how we're going to structure this deal where it seems fair for both parties. I'm not going into details of how we did it, but we were able to structure it in a way where there's going to be different exit events, different cash allocations during different times where we felt it was more fair than we originally did. And what we did was we used Claude AI. I gave a bunch of different prompts, gave it a bunch of different scenarios, and told it what I'm looking for. Sometimes it's hard to articulate, but the AI can back it up. So I usually tell AI to ask me questions one at a time to help me get to a certain goal. And it usually does a great job doing that. So I'm about to go on an AI rant here, and it's going to make sense at the end, but AI has the information of the entire internet. AI has the information of essentially almost everything that's ever been online, right? ChatGPT uses a Google engine. And Google, everyone Googles it, right? They don't say search it on Bing. They don't say go to Yahoo, right? Everyone Googles everything. So I say this: AI has an abundance of information, and because of that, it could be wrong because there's so many different angles, so many different things it could look at. And I'm not some AI genius, right? I'm just trying to dumb things down for the layman like myself, but. You can use AI to help you with so much. Don't give it all the information because, there's Russian hackers, whatever you want to say, but AI has so much information that can help you structure the deal. You have someone like me who is doing a podcast trying to help you understand what I am doing in order to make these deals attractive to not only myself, but for other partners, so I can get in with not only my own cash, but bring in someone else to do more, go bigger. But AI can help you articulate what you're trying to say. It can help you structure the deal. And all you got to do is tell it what you think, the scenario, and it will literally spell out everything for you. So the reason I'm saying this is there is no excuses for you to figure out how to structure a deal, right? And not only using AI is going to help you structure your deal, but you need to understand your value and in what's going to be valuable for your partner, right? Structuring a deal is huge. Understanding the finances is huge. Understanding how to work with the banks is huge. But at the end of the day, there is not going to be a deal if you have no money and you don't have a partner and you can articulate it, intellectually is probably the better word. So in this podcast, what I want you to take away is partners are going to help you go far faster. AI is going to help you structure deals and help you understand how to make a deal attractive. It's going to help you do legal paperwork. And it's going to be very crucial. It's going to help you with very crucial documents and different things that you would pay thousands for, but you can just pay $20 a month, right? And understanding that you can do deals with low and no money down, but you're going to have to provide that value for your customer and understand that if someone's going to be giving you money, you need to prove your worth, and having some skin in the game will always be worth it. So structuring a deal is so important, and you don't need to be a contractor to understand, what it's going to take to flip a house, but you do need to understand the different moving pieces of the puzzle of this real estate. If you understand the pieces of if you understand the transaction and the art of the transaction and the pieces that come with it and the partners you have to work with the transaction and what the underwriters are looking for with the Fannie and Freddie Mae loan or a different credit union or what, a non-QM kind of bank is, right? If you understand all those things and then understand how to piece it together to make it more attractive and to make it actually a deal, then you will be one of the most crucial forces in the real estate game. I'm still working on it because I want to be that crucial force. But I know people who are doing cash deals, and that is not bad. It's not bad by any means, but you can make better returns putting less cash in as long as you're not too leveraged. And once you understand how to use leverage to your advantage, using it with partners, you can make the best return that you ever thought of, right? These big development deals on the commercials and the New Yorks and in these big downtowns, right? No one's using cash. There's going to be some guy with the brains, with the great team, and then multiple partners to help pull this together. And the person who does it, the developer, who doesn't need to be a contractor, right? The developer is the one that is making the pieces complete, making one complete puzzle. And that's the exciting part. We need to understand how to put the pieces together where everyone wins and everyone is happy. And it's a lot easier said than done. You're going to be golden and the wealth will be built. Until next time, team. See ya. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss when a new one drops. And if you're loving this content, come join me over on YouTube. My link is down below in the comments. I take you behind the scenes of my real life as a real estate investor. You get to see inside my flips, my rentals. You get to see the full journey of me growing from basically 33 units to 100 units, which is the goal I'm shooting for. No highlight reels, no sugarcoating, just a real thing. See you next week.